My name is Anita. I am 17 years old, and I would never have the courage to stand on this stage in front of you talking about my experience. You might be wondering why, so let me take a few steps back. When I was a child, I had a short hair for two reasons. Number one, I was a swimmer. And number two, my mom was a single mom. So me having short hair was just a win-win situation for everyone. But having short hair was no fun and games. You see, all of my female classmates had long hair, and that is exactly where problems began. Because I was different from them. And different meant no good. Apparently, princesses could only have long hair, and in order to play with them, I had to be a princess. So not only I couldn't play with them, but I was destined to be alone for the rest of my life because no sane prince would ever fall in love with a girl with short hair. So I did what every 6-year-old girl would have done. That Christmas, when my mom bought me a Barbie princess, I decided to cut her hair because I wanted to prove that unlike all of the cartoons and fairy tales that we were surrounded by, princesses could actually have short hair, just like me. But that didn't go as planned. You see, my mom didn't know the reasons why I did that, so she got angry at me. And in my mind, that only meant one thing, that I could never be a princess. When I started middle school, I wanted to start afresh. Even though my city is not extremely big, with a little bit of luck, I was going to have new classmates, and so a second opportunity to prove my worth. But once again, that did not go as planned. And this time, the reason was that I liked colors, and I liked wearing them. But me wearing colors was not considered cool. Me wearing colors was unacceptable. Me wearing colors meant that I was embarrassing to be seen with. I didn't want the episodes of elementary school to repeat themselves, so, once again, I did what every 12-year-old girl would have done. I changed my style, and I started dressing like them. But that was not enough. And no matter how hard I tried to fit in and how many parts of me I changed, it was never enough. And once they finished attacking what they could see, they realized that they could harm me even more by attacking my identity. You see, I was born from an Italian mother and an Egyptian father. And that didn't really sit well with their idealization of family. So not only I was a foreigner who could not play with them, but because of my African origins, I was also seen as a threat, as if I was connected to all of the terrorist attacks that would happen. Of course, these are all trivial episodes, but all of them combined brought me to an extremely dark place, and I hit rock bottom. But before giving up completely, I decided that I wanted to give myself one last chance to prove that I was worth it and that I could be who I truly was. At the time, I saw it as the last resort, but what I couldn't imagine is that it would actually turn out to be my exit ticket. In the summer of 2016, I went to Cambridge to study English. It was a new country, so they definitely could only judge me for what I decided to show them, and not for the preconceptions that they had of me, which is why I decided that I would truly be myself. And you know what happened? They liked me. And for the first time in my life, I was finally able to be myself without the fear of being judged or openly insulted. And that was the moment when it clicked. That was the moment when I realized that I had spent, or better, that I had wasted all of my life trying to accommodate others. I realized that I could not please everyone, and that for all those years, I had forgotten to do the most important thing, please myself first. So, I started my journey of rediscovering who I was, what I liked, what I was passionate about, and who I wanted to be. It wasn't, and it still isn't, an easy journey, but it is not impossible. You see, when I was bullied, I was often told that it was possible to go beyond the labels that people placed upon me, but no one was actually there to tell me how difficult it would have been. And that is the reason why I stayed in that cage for so long. Because every time I tried to push beyond the boundaries of that cage, I would be immediately pushed back by another round of insults, harsher than the previous one, and I would stop trying. But it is not impossible. It is just extremely difficult and terrifying, because it's like starting a new life after 17 years of being trapped behind a door, watching your life go by from afar without actually living it. It does not happen overnight. It takes time. Still now, 16 years later, I am scared of cutting my hair. Still now, 10 years later, I am not always confident enough to wear what I like. And still now, after all of the progress that I have made, sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I can still hear their voices and feel their hands trying to drag me down once again. So how can you get out of this spiral? Well, unfortunately, I do not have a standardized formula, but what I can give you are the 3 elements that worked for me and that I learned during my journey. Number 1, surround yourself with the right people. These are the people who accept you for who you are with no ifs and no buts. Not easy to find them, took me 19 years, but in the meantime, do not accept anything less than what you think you deserve. And if you feel that the way people treat you makes you feel negative and makes you doubt yourself, then those people are not worth your time or energy. Never settle for mediocre relationships just because you think that you need someone else to validate your existence. You don't. And this brings me directly to my second point. Put yourself as your number 1 priority. You are your own individual, which means that your health and your happiness should come from within and should not depend on other people. So take time to know yourself, to know your boundaries and your priorities, and to be at peace with yourself and with your own thoughts. Take time to reflect on what has been causing you pain and to become aware of how people contribute to your life, whether positively or negatively. Learn to enjoy your own company and get to the point where you're strong enough to be authentic and self-sufficient because you no longer feel the need to fit in. And finally, number 3, put your feelings out there. Whether it is talking to your family, shouting from the top of a mountain, writing in a journal, or dancing in your room, do not let yourself get consumed by the negative feelings, because that will only hurt you more. And every time you let those feelings out, try to remember them. Try to memorize how you feel, so that whenever you start feeling like that again, you know that you are going somewhere dark, and you can do something to stop that. My name is Anita. I am 22 years old, and today I had the courage to stand on this stage in front of you talking about my experience. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.